Sometimes the reality of life makes it hard to accept what the future's holding for all of us. Higher force calling us, unexpected visits to the coroner, when tragedy, pain has befallen us. And as we getting older, you quickly realize that you have to be stronger than you ever been. Lifespan has to be longer. Too many people taking life for granted. Too much negativity.
Good. Talk to New York Chef. You obviously see once again I'm back with my tag team partner. I'm gonna once again let him host this because I'm enjoying the fact I don't gotta host every damn show nowadays. So makes it a little easier and better for me. Crooked Smile was good, baby.
It's going great, man. Just got off work, rushed straight to the pod because I told you it's all about that pod life, and you told me let's take a break. I'm like, nah, man. We need to get this news out here. This news broke last night, and I feel it's major for Impact. So I think we need to get this news out there and let these fans know what the hell's going on. So, how you want me? You want me to break it to them, or you want to break it to them? How you want to work it?
I don't know. I think that I guess you can go. You can say the whole list, and then we can kind of touch on each person and what do we think? Because I'm a little different than you. Before we go into the list, the last time Impact had something where people expected something big like Jericho, they got James Ellsworth. You know what I mean? Like, there's a huge difference, from when you expect that music to hit and James Ellsworth walks out, you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Expect a big pop, and all you get is a no chin reaction. So
yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping at least half of these happen, but I say you go through the list and we'll have some fun chopping it up.
All right. So out of the list that I have, we have EY, Eric Young, Rusev. It's not a confirmed Rusev, but they did show a Bulgarian flag, so it's a reference to Rusev, so you would expect it. You got the Bullet Club, Luke Gallows and Carlo Anderson. I'm 50-50 on them. Rockstar Spud, a.k.a. at the moment, is Drake Maverick. Kurt Hawkins, The Miracle Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis, and our boy, none and only EC3.
All right. You tell me who you want to start with, and we start. I think we leave Ethan for last because he's obviously the one that we actually give a shit about the most.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna throw Rusev out first, since he's the only one that hasn't, well, other than Carlo and Luke, but Rusev has been one of the guys who has not been in Impact that I know of. I don't see him coming to Impact unless he does it out of spite. But if you're gonna go to a company out of spite, it would be definitely AEW. Impact doesn't have a huge TV deal, and that's their problem right now. They're putting on great matches, great talent, like great overall product. I give them that. But unfortunately, unless you have a subscription to Access TV, and some people do, and they're saying they don't see Impact. Like, the Impact's not showing up on their TV, so that's a huge issue for Impact. But if, let's say, they do somehow come across these names, maybe they can get a Spike deal again. Maybe they can get a different network deal. Because I don't feel Access is going to be the ones to do it for them, because they don't have a lot of viewership because there's so much going on in between, and it's like some of your fans can't see it. But I don't see Rusev going to Impact. I would probably rather see him go to AEW, and definitely shit on Vince McMahon doing it that way. Definitely.
My take on Rusev is I don't give a shit about Rusev. I think Rusev is trash. I don't care where he goes, to be honest with you. And that is my worry about. There's a lot of names that is being thrown out to come to Impact Wrestling. This, if they get half, you're happy with it. If they get all of it, you better have a way better TV deal than what they have now, because financially you're investing a lot of money. And what are you getting on your return, especially when you got the pandemic and you might be at 25%. So if I was any of these guys with any kind of name or steam, why would I take less when I can go get more? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
you're not going to promise me something you don't have. I don't work on hopes and dreams. I work on now.
Exactly.
So,
Totally agree with you.
yeah, so Rusev, I know he's a name. I know he had the Rusev day, and I know he's over his shit and all that. I'm just not a fan, so I don't care. But I don't really see him going to Impact, and it makes no sense to me anyway.
Exactly. I agree with you. It wouldn't make sense. If he's trying to get back at WWE and Vince McMahon and all of them, AEW is the way to go. So, unfortunately, I don't see him going to Impact, but who knows? Maybe Impact pulls something out of their ass and gets him over there. Who knows? So we're going to go over and go with the Bullet Club next because I want to get the guys who have not been in Impact yet out of the way. So we have Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. How do you feel about that one?
All right, I like this one. I know one of them actually used to be in Aces and Eights, though.
Yes.
So
Luke Gallows was in the Aces and Eights.
So I'm going to test your editing ability because I was going to do a solo thing real quick, and actually I'd rather do it with you, and we can make this a 4-minute thing and just throw it out there like that. Instead of coming in and trying to bring back the Bullet Club, which you have to get permission from New Japan because I think that's their product. I say you say fuck not fuck New Japan, my fault. I say you say fuck Bullet Club, and you tell them, listen, let's come back as Aces and Eights. Slammiversary, the North beats whoever they're going to wrestle because Impact has a hard on for the North. You had them come out the crowd, beat up the North, and it looks like, oh, snap, like, that's pretty dope. Like, you know, the Aces and Eights is back, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. But the next week, you see them sitting there saying, we're not done, blah, blah, you know, it's recruiting, we're going to come back with more.
Yeah.
Either that show or the next Impact, they go over to the Chris brothers who have been completely devalued and have no value. Mm-hmm. Walk up and tell them, nobody cares who you are no more. OVE is dead. And they throw them prospect like vest. And that way, all of a sudden, it's not OVE, but they rekindle their Impact career with the Aces and Ace, and they form as a new faction to go forward as Aces and Ace. What do you think about that?
I was definitely not expecting that one, but I am definitely I'm full on board with that. Because, like you said, I actually forgot Luke Gallows was part of Aces and Eights. So thank you for having your Impact knowledge and throwing that out. Because I forgot. Because he wasn't there long with the Aces and Eights once he was revealed. So that's probably why I forgot. But other than that, yeah, I think it's a great idea. Make Luke Gallows, since he's the bigger guy, make him the leader this time. Since you don't have your Bully Ray and you don't have Taz on commentary because he's over in AEW. You don't need a commentator to join you anyways. I spoke about this on another podcast and gotten a little bit of a heat for it, but who cares at this point? I don't care. It's how I feel. If you don't like it, then whatever. But I agree with it. I say bring in Luke Gallows first and tease Carl Anderson. Don't bring Carl Anderson right in because then everyone's going to expect them to come in together already. I say bring them in slowly. You can always have it to where there's like a mystery guy or two mystery guys or so like they did with before and have Carl Anderson as one of those mystery guys. So
that works.
I feel it'd be a little bit more of a surprise. Like obviously if Gallows comes, you probably have a feeling Carl Anderson will too, but that's another time and place. But Kurt Hawkins is actually on this list. A lot of people won't say it, but he's got great ringing. He knows how to sell. He knows how to work in the ring and everything else like that. I understand a lot of people don't like him. He wasn't used very much. I actually like the dude. I thought it was funny as hell. He was actually keeping track of how many matches he was on a continuously like losing. I know when I was at an Orlando show here, I think it was at a Raw event. He was actually up to 1,000 and something or something like that. Or like, I don't know what it was. It was a high number. And I was just like, damn, and he's proud of this. And he's like, well, I'm going to break this streak tonight. I think that's the night he actually faced EC3. I think it was on a main event, but he fought EC3 and it didn't end up very well for him.
Well, we also seen him when they had the whole GFW Impact Wrestling thing, too, when he was Brian Myers with GFW.
See, here you are with your damn knowledge. That is true. I remember that. Yeah, with the cane. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have hosted this podcast. You're making me look bad as a host.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great because it's multiple stories. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's working out perfect. But I mean, you can't really say he was an Impact roster guy because he came in with GFW. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so he unfortunately was on the other stem of that. But I mean, where does he fit in? I think that's where my problem is with him. If he comes back as Brian Myers and I know he has Mets colors, you know, like he has the blue and orange thing, but he has a nickname or something. But it doesn't fit in with the Rascals. It doesn't fit in with Sami Callihan. It doesn't fit in with a lot of people. So it's like if he does a single run, I don't think he's a big enough name for you to give a shit that he's coming in as a single competitor.
Yeah, no, especially how much he was shit on in WWE.
Yeah.
Devalued him, and you can't bring him in as a top tier guy and be like, oh, we're gonna throw a belt on you, we're gonna throw like the X Division title on you. It's not gonna work because everyone's gonna be like, oh, we remember him from losing so and so many matches. It's like,
Yeah,
he would have to build his credibility up, or he's gonna have to change his character, and a lot of people are gonna recognize who it is at that point. But still, it's be very rough to put a title on him like out the gun because of his track resume at WWE, unfortunately. Let's go with. We got 4 left. I want to
if
say
you
those
hear
two.
Spanish music, my bad. Like the guy outside is fixing his car and he is dumping his shit right now.
You're good. We got 3 left. 4 left actually. I want to leave those to the last. So we're gonna go with Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis. Do you think they will come back?
That worries me because I know that Mike loved working in Impact, and I think that Maria got tired of it. And once WWE said, because remember they had that deal that was already technically worked out, and then when WWE called her, she dipset it on Impact and went to WWE. I'm not knocking nobody. Whatever they do as a family, and what's best for them is best for them. But I don't really see. She brings nothing to the X division, to the women's division. Like, I actually think that Impact right now has the strongest women's division in wrestling. And what is she going to do? Just be his manager again, which I'm fine with. And if they do come back, I love what Mike Bennett did prior in Impact. You know what I mean? Like, I love what he did. We were all fans of Mike Bennett. Mike Bennett, the Miracle. Yeah. The Miracle intro was fire. Like,
oh yeah, without a doubt.
That was hot. And if you do that, that's fine. But once again, WWE really devalued him and did absolutely nothing with him. And it's like he was hot when he came from ROH to Impact. He had his run.
Without a doubt.
And like, you've seen all that. You were like, oh, snap, he's here. His second run around is, when's the last time you even seen Mike Bennett? We love Mike Bennett because we seen him. Not on TV. We seen him this close.
In person, yeah.
So we had the experience of actually seeing it live, and it was cool. But he's been gone for a while, and he didn't have a long tenure in Impact neither.
No, he didn't. He had maybe like a year, 2 max.
I would love to see him come back, and Impact definitely has a bigger platform right now than ROH. But I still think that ROH is where he fits in right now. He goes back to ROH. He has a name there. He's got a career track record there. So I hope he goes back to Impact, but I doubt it.
I totally agree. I would love to see him come back to Impact and be the Miracle all over again. Restage it and everything. ROH, he's got the Kingdom, and that was a huge faction over in ROH. So he's definitely got that on him if Ring of Honor wants to do that whole thing again, which I'm totally cool with. I'm definitely down for that. And they did it in New Japan as well. Like they were all around with the Kingdom. So it could definitely work again. I know he's brought up some pictures and stuff like that on Instagram of the Kingdom. So it could be a shoot for that. But like you said, WWE devalued him. He's been off TV for so long. They barely used him on 205 Live. And honestly, I thought he was putting out the best work on 205 Live, other than, I know you're going to get mad for me saying this, but the only other guy that was really putting in true work was TJP when he was there.
Hold up. And I don't want to make this like, I don't want to go too far off, but the guy Mustafa Ali, and I like TJP, but I think Mustafa Ali is a better wrestler than TJP.
Well, Mustafa Ali is still in WWE, so yeah, he's still good in 205. Like, he was great in 205. Don't get me wrong. Mustafa Ali is freaking crazy in the ring. He's
and they sleep on him too.
Oh, without a doubt. And they're trying to say he's this mystery hacker. I don't think he is, but we'll talk about that on another podcast. I'm not gonna get into this I'm not gonna get into this mystery hacker BS right now. Like, they've honestly played it too far at this point, and like, honestly, I haven't even seen anything of it in the past couple weeks to a month. So yeah. Besides that, we're gonna go back to Mike Bennett at 205 Live, and I think that was one of his best times. They didn't even put him in NXT. I don't know why. I think he could have strived in NXT, especially with the Adam Coles, the Keith Lees, and everything else like that. I think he could have shined majorly into NXT. Honestly, I think he would have been freaking phenomenal with Undisputed Era. I'll go out and say it on that. I think he would have been freaking great with Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
But I'm not creative for WWE or anything, so they don't give a damn what I gotta say. But I want to see Bennett back in Impact, but I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. And we're gonna go with your boy next. We're gonna go with EY Eric Young.
I think Eric Young's only place is to come back home. Like, he's won, what was it, NXT tag belts with Sanity. You know what I mean? He had the tag belts of Sanity. I don't know if he ever won like SmackDown belts or nothing like that. I'm not sure.
I think he won the 24/7 belt.
Did he win the 24/7 belt?
I think so, once.
All right, so he got, listen, belts are belts at this point, right? So he got 2 belts.
Yeah.
He got 2 belts in WWE. I think WWE really dropped the ball with Sanity. I think Sanity was something new, dope, fresh, and it was intense. And I'm not really into like a lot of things that fall out of my street stuff, and that definitely is nothing that I'm used to, and I thought that was insane. But the world-class Maniac has to come home. You know what I mean? Like, he's a grand champion. He's won like every title they've ever had. He's even been one half of the women's tag team champions with ODB. You know what I mean? Like, he's done
past wife.
Everything. Yeah, he's done everything. And and I know we've talked about this, and I know you'll appreciate this. The current world TNA heavyweight champion, not earned, self-proclaimed, Moose, I think it would be dope for him to call somebody out, because he always, all these old school legends, they ain't shit, blah, blah, blah. Slammiversary, you have an open challenge to whoever. Anyone in the back can come out. Eric Young's music hits, Eric Young beats him, and he's your new, TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I think that's a perfect way to transition him back and let the fans know, I'm not here just for shits and giggles. I'm actually here to put in some time of work. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So I don't, and at this point of his career, why would he even bother going to AEW? He's not going, they're not going to push him to do anything really. So go home where, you're a bigger fish in a smaller pond.
Oh, yeah. No, only way I see him going to AEW, to be completely honest, is if they have him join the Dark Order. Honestly, that's probably the best they'll push for him. Unfortunately, if anything, he breaks off as a singles character like he is, and they use him with the TNT title. Other than that, I don't see him doing very much in AEW, other than those 2 things that I mentioned, either being part of the Dark Order or holding that TNT title, and which is not good enough for him in my aspect. I feel he should be world champion. Like, I didn't like the goofy Eric Young, like, so a lot of people did, obviously. I wasn't. I understood, like, I love his in-ring work. I don't get me wrong, but I didn't like how they made him so goofy. It was just like, this guy has talent. Like, he's a great in-ring competitor, and you're making him into this goofball that, like, doesn't know what like, back when he was like Showtime Eric Young, he would freak out over the damn pyro when it came out. It's like,
oh yeah, he would get all like,
he'd freak out. It's like, or don't fire Eric. That was one of his funnier moments. Was "Don't fire Eric." That was one of his funnier moments at the time.
But he was floating around the arena and everything. That was hilarious.
That was a good time. But yeah, I feel the same way as you do. He needs to come home, go back to Impact or TNA, whichever they want to be called at this point. I guess fight Moose, the self-proclaimed heavyweight champion. But other than that, if they do that, Eric Young definitely needs to take that belt off of that man. I can't even say that he's a champion. All right, so since we're gonna leave EC3 for last, we're gonna go with Drake Maverick, aka Rockstar Spud. How do you feel if he's coming to Impact or if he's not?
All right, wherever EC3 goes, so does Spud. You know, like if I had heard reports last week that he went back to WWE, like they were signing him because they felt his push and they seen his work, and which I heard. But if it's not true, I think EC3, as much as I would love him to go to Impact, and we'll go to that, I think both of them go to AEW. And I would love to see Spud go back, but only if they let Spud be Spud. Like, and I keep telling people, if you look at the work that Spud did when he kind of turned on EC3 or when he had his match against Kurt Angle, when he got all bloodied up and everything. Rockstar Spud is smaller than me, and I'm not a tall guy. I'm wider than Rockstar Spud. You know, like, he's a small dude, and Kurt Angle's an Olympic hero. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's jacked up, too. And Rockstar Spud, it was believable if you watched that match. Go back and watch that shit. Rockstar Spud showcased, I can be your world champ.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. And even if he goes back and you're like, yo, we'll give you the X Division, you got to give him a belt. You can't just say, come back and we'll see what you do. You've already put a belt on Tessa. So if she can win it, Rockstar Spud could easily win that too. You know what I mean? Like, so I would love Spud to go back. He's a British boot camp guy. He's their product. You know what I mean? Like, when you think of Impact, you think of Rockstar Spud. He's part of that core. And I would love to see him go back. But unfortunately, I think they're both heading to AEW.
All right. So this is where I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I feel Drake Maverick is staying in the E. I feel they are going to have them beat Phantasma. I feel they are going to give him his push that he deserves. I think they're going to put the cruiserweight title on him. I'm not gonna say it was a work because obviously it wasn't. This dude legit was broken when this happened. WWE did give him an opportunity because they seen how destroyed he was. They actually gave him an opportunity to showcase himself, and this dude is showing back what he used to do in the Impact days. This guy is killing it in this cruiserweight title series. It's phenomenal. If you have not watched his matches in this series, subscribe to WWE Network, and I don't tell you to subscribe to this shit, but this dude has put on an absolute clinic in every single match he has done. And I believe that cruiserweight title match might be on NXT this week, or it might be on 205 Live. I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, I don't know which one, but I know it's this week.
I'm going to look it up, and I'm definitely going to be watching that finals match for Spud, or AKA Drake Maverick, but I'm definitely going to be hoping to see him hold that title. That way he does have that on his resume. I would love to see him hold a title in the WWE because he definitely deserves it. I know they had him as a manager for 205 Live for the longest. I don't know if it was due to an injury he had or if that was just the only thing they had going for him at the moment. But either way, he sold it. And it was hilarious that it took all this time for WWE to finally realize what they had in a talent of Drake Maverick. And I'm trying not to call him Rockstar Spud because I'm trying to stick to this gimmick name in WWE. But I feel Drake Maverick stays in the WWE for a little bit. He probably won't sign a full-time, year-long contract. He might just sign it by every 6 months or so. If they do contracts like that, I'm not sure. If that's not the case, he's going to sign probably a one-year deal or a certain amount of days on the contract and work it that way. That's how I feel about it. I think Drake Maverick's going to stay.
The telling factor is, like you said, if he wins that belt, he's staying. If he loses,
without a doubt.
He's probably gone.
I don't know. I don't even know if he loses if he leaves. To be honest.
Oh, so you think this is like an 80-20? Like you're really high that he stays WWE.
I feel he's gonna stay in WWE because they finally gave him a push, and I don't see them putting a title on Phantasma. I really don't. Don't get me wrong. I've seen this. I've seen him in Impact too. I've seen Phantasma in Impact. I was never a fan of him, but he's a great worker. Like I tell everybody, he's a great worker. Honestly, unless you legit show me that you can't work, then I'm gonna say you're a good worker. Like everyone deserves their. If you made it to the WWE, you're a good worker, obviously.
Well, I would say that because you had that red hair chick that was absolutely horrible. Eva something.
Oh, Eva Marie or something.
Oh.
She had a body, I guess. But yeah, no. Besides that, yeah, no. I feel they're giving it to Maverick on this one. It might not be long term, could be long term. You never know. But that's how I feel on it. I think Drake Maverick stays for a little bit longer. And now, without further ado, we're going to our boy EC3. Where are you going with this one, Chef?
Dude, he's got to go. He's got to go to AEW. Like, I want him on a big enough platform where he can showcase himself. Like I said, I'm a, we all met at the Impact Zone. The Impact Zone is special to us. We love Impact. You know what I mean? Like Impact is a special place. We got a lot there. But EC3 right now is so fucking over in his garage that why would you go? You know what I mean? Why would you go backwards? You know what I mean? Like Jericho had a meeting with him out here in Disney Springs. Well, listen, that was put out there. That's put out there. That's public knowledge. Are
you trying to say he's going to join Inner Circle coming shortly? Because he's not going to go with the Elite. He's a heel right now. He's running off like on his own thing as a heel too. So he don't give a shit about being a face. Like he's running as a heel, or he's running as a tweener, but he's running more as a heel. He's telling you how it is.
That would mean that you would have Chris Jericho, one of the most over guys in the industry. EC3, who's fucking hotter than anybody right now.
Exactly.
LAX.
Yep.
Jack Hagar, who, he's a big dude. And he can wrestle. He just doesn't, he's not showcased right yet. Mm-hmm. And Sammy Guevara seems to be like the mascot or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you put in the same group Chris Jericho and EC3, dude, that just seems unfair. You know what I mean? Because, like, what are you going to say? Like, the Elite, all right, you got the Young Bucks the Bucks are the Bucks. I've never been a fan. I always make fun of them and stuff like that, call them the Young Scrubs and things, like, whatever. Matt Hardy is way past his prime. Like the broken shit.
We've seen it for so long. It's done with us. I can still somewhat get into it, but I can't get into the whole thing anymore like I used to.
Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. When I watched the Stadium Stampede and he was getting drowned, and he was like, "No, I found that funny." You know what I mean? I was like, "Okay, that's funny." But when he's doing like the delete thing all the time, or you see Vanguard, whatever it's called now.
Oh, Vanguard's dead. They got it on some
new black drone or whatever the hell its name is. It's like I've seen this for fucking 5 years already.
Right about.
You know what I mean? Like it's ran its course, and then they've never allowed Kenny Omega to be Kenny Omega. You know what I mean? Like I feel that Kenny Omega has been watered down in AEW, and Heyman Page looks good, but I'm not putting Heyman Page, Kenny Omega, the Bucks, or any of them against the names of EC3 or Chris Jericho.
Bro, this thing. You have the top best talker of all time, Chris Jericho. And we already know EC3 can just
anybody.
He can say anything on a promo. He can shit out a promo out his ass and it still be phenomenal. Like, let's be honest. Like, these two dudes are the best promo like best promo givers of all time. Like they can.
In one company, you would have Chris Jericho, EC3, and MJF.
Hey, but the crazy thing is, MJF has been called, like, he wanted to team with EC3 for a while, but now I don't know what happened, but now he wants a piece of EC3. So who's not to say eventually EC3 is like, you know what, I'm tired of this man's talk. That's where I'm gonna have to figure something out, because I don't know who I'm gonna have to choose in that match, MJF or EC3. That's where I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna sit on the sideline on this one.
To be honest with you, MJF he's the future of AEW. I really believe that.
Oh, without a doubt.
But EC3 MJF feud is best for business. Because
the promo battles. Oh my goodness.
I mean, goosebumps, my G, goosebumps. I mean, my head. The stuff that, and let them go. You do whatever you want to do. You say what you want to say. We'll sit back here. We'll just film this shit and put it out there.
Exactly. Script off the table. Just go at it.
You're going to have such a dope product. And at this point, if you're looking at EC3 and AEW, you're looking at years to come of some of the dopest rivalries to bring up. Like right now, you're molding I'm going to say EC3. You're molding MJF to be your cornerstone next guy, to be your next Chris Jericho. So the better matches he has only leads up to, holy shit, we watched this guy come from, just say like an MLW where you knew he could talk. But here you have the cream of the crop talent where he's going to grow as the future of your company. And an AC3 MJF, I'm all about it.
No, without a doubt. Yeah, I don't see EC3 going back to Impact. I feel that he did have actual heat. I know he did have some heat with Impact before he left. I know they tried to play it as a storyline, but I feel he did actually have heat from what I've been told. He was not very pleased with Impact, of how they were running things backstage, and he was very not pleased on how they were trying to take his character. So I don't see, because it's the same management, so I don't see EC3 going back unless they spit something out of their ass to make him happy. And but EC3 is like on a whole nother level right now. Like, you thought you knew EC3 and Impact. This EC3 that we have now, bro, where's this EC3 been? Like,
see, that's the thing. We don't know this EC3.
We don't.
This is something we haven't seen yet. Now, I'm going to ask you, because I didn't really watch Impact on TV, because we lived there. You know what I'm saying? So I never really watched shows. Do you remember when we were sitting by the barricade and we'd always, fuck with DC3 and say, this is the house that you built, or, we would do his songs and we would fuck with him. Do you remember when he would purposely step away or around the Impact logo on the ramp?
Oh, yeah, where he would step around, like he'd spin around and then he'd look down and he'd go around it. Yeah, they actually edited that. I think they edited that out when he was doing that.
He wouldn't even walk on that. So
I know, like, and I think when he won the briefcase, he actually stomped in the middle of it, because obviously he knew he was getting fired. Like, that was a night he actually stomped on the actual Impact thing and just was like, excuse my language, he was like, fuck you, Impact, pretty much.
Yeah, facts. So I don't see it. I mean, like I said, I would love for him to go back, but I also want him. He deserves a massive platform.
Oh, without a doubt.
And Access is not that platform. And I'm going to put this in an Impact chat, a bunch of them. And people can get upset. I'm asking you to be real. This is what I try to ask fans, is to be real and understand what I'm asking you. If you're a fan of somebody, I'm a fan of Ethan Carter. I'm a fan of the guy. You know what I mean? Like, I appreciate his work. We got to mess with him. We got to talk. We got to get to know him. The dude is fucking amazing. I want people that I've met that I feel are great people, that are humble people, that are great set of fans. I want them to be at their best, and I want to see them make their money in their craft and their passion and everything else. And I believe that AEW is that perfect path for him to take his next chapter of his career.
I totally agree. It's pretty much next level WWE, if not the WWE at this point, because they're killing it, NXT in ratings, and NXT is supposed to be your bigger brand out of the two right now. It's supposed to be your best product, and AEW's killing it in rankings since it's been around. I think NXT's gotten a couple weeks on it, but
I think 1 or 2.
Yeah, I'm just what I'm saying. He's got a couple weeks at best, but overall, and then AEW has been doing so much stuff different than WWE. It's crazy now. WWE is doing the same stuff that AEW is doing, and it's like we already know. Like you could say all you want that. Oh yeah, they're doing their stuff outside and all this other stuff. It's genius. You know, like you're technically in free revenue because your owner is the son of the Jaguars like organization. So you're technically getting free revenue of having the dailies place. As you know, here, you know, this we can have technically free revenue here. We don't have to pay anybody per se, and you're getting your shows for nothing. And WWE's mad because they got the Performance Center and it's a closed venue, and they're like, "Oh, the COVID's too easily passed." You're literally testing your talents coming in. I actually read in a report. I don't mean to go off track here, but we always go off track. I didn't read on a report. I actually heard from Wrestle Talk. They have a YouTube. Shout out to Wrestle Talk. Great wrestling they're not really a podcast. They're more of a wrestling show. They're from UK. They were saying that NXT stars were actually, or not NXT stars, but NXT like roster people like they don't actually use. We're actually getting sick and tired of what they're doing because apparently they one night they took the people out from like 11 a.m. and the people didn't get to finish something until like midnight. So you were out all day long. And I know they had a fight between Velveteen Dream and I forgot who it was. They had some type of match outside apparently. And literally it rained. So they didn't start production until it stopped raining, and the people didn't get home it didn't finish until like midnight, 1 o'clock when they were filming it. So those talents didn't get home until early morning, and then had to show back up the next morning about like 9 or 10 to do the Raw tapings and stuff like that. And that's absurd, you know. Like honestly, like if it's gonna come down to that, it's not worth it, you know. Like I understand, like you're supposed to love the place you work, but I'm not going to be up all day or all night and everything else like that and then have to wake up in the early mornings to do the whole same ordeal all over again. And it's, from what I'm hearing, the test that they're doing apparently takes like 4 or 5 hours in itself. So you're literally doing the test and you're waiting around waiting for the results. And it's like, what the hell? Like, but I don't know. I just feel like the whole thing that WWE is doing, trying to rip off AEW. Like, you don't need the damn hockey rink glass. You don't really. Like, it's talent that you have already on your roster. What do you have to worry about on the COVID stuff? You know what I mean? Like, your talent's supposedly clear of everything, so why have it?
You know their wellness policy is bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I really don't. I find it to be a joke at this point. Like WWE is like losing the battle between AEW when they started. They literally crapped on AEW when it started, saying they wouldn't make it. Look at AEW now. They're destroying you. Like they're like, oh no, they're only good. Like everyone's like, oh AEW. Like the WWE fans are like, oh AEW is just gonna do one show once a year.
Yeah.
All right, they did their all in pay-per-view. The following year they came back. Guess what? Oh, we got a TV deal. Everyone's like, oh shit, they got a TV deal. This can't be a big TV deal. Signed with TNT. And TNT used to be the company that held WCW. We all know what happened to WCW, but I don't see that happening to AEW. I really don't. Cody, Bucks, and everybody who's got VP and who are the higher ups, they're talented themselves. They know what the fans want. I will give AEW credit. They listen to their fans. They give the fans what they want.
So now here's my thing. If they just say, and we try to get back to this on Impact before we get out of here. If Impact gets half these people, I don't care who the names are. We don't even have to say who the names are. If they get half of them, what TV deal sits there and says, I think Rusev is a draw. You know what I mean? Like, EC3 hasn't done much on TV. Rusev, you haven't seen him forever. Drake Maverick's killing it. That's fine. But we don't know if he's going to be there.
Yeah.
Anderson and Gallows, they really didn't do much. They came in hot and fizzled. Mike and Maria, you haven't really seen nothing. Brian Myers, you said, is like the ultimate loser. And I'm saying gimmick-wise.
Yeah, exactly.
So none of these names, a TV company or a network says, oh, snap, they just signed them. Let me get a network deal. Let's bring them on the network.
Yeah.
It's like if they got like a Randy Orton or a fucking Cena, and I know you don't like Cena, but Cena's still a draw. If you see John Cena's name or something, fans are gonna jump to it.
Yeah. But real quick, I just want to throw it out there that the wrestlers that we did say today, they're all under a 90-day non-compete contract, so they cannot negotiate. They can't say anything or contact any of these companies. So we obviously don't know if these people are going to be signed, if they're going to not be signed. Only the people who are in ties know. Just so you guys know, the 90-day contract that all these competitors are on right now, and a few days before Slammiversary. So if Slammiversary does go live, which I'm sure it will, all these wrestlers on this list that we did name can show up at Slammiversary, and you never know who's going to show up. But we went throughout the list of who we think will show up and who won't show up. The only person that I was saying I feel will not go for sure is Drake Maverick, is because obviously it's belief he's going to get a new contract with the whole ordeal with him being so pushed in this cruiserweight title series and everything. So I don't see Drake Maverick leaving, honestly.
No, and I'm fair with that. Now, before we get out of here, and I know we obviously talked about Slammiversary, and it's a perfect way to plug something that I reached out to some people last night and this morning of, and we did a super show, which because of Skype, we had issues with trying to get you on. We figured out how to work it. No, I'm not going to.
We figured it out. We figured it out. So
I'm going to blame Skype on this. It wasn't your fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're going to do another super show. This time we figured out how to make sure that we stay connected. So it'll be us, possibly Drake Adams, definitely.
We can get him released.
Yeah. I'm not paying shit. So if they want to off with his head, that's his problem. Definitely Bodega. So we'll definitely have Jorge, which I know is one of your guys. It's your anti-moose people. We'll have Mike Larkin on, which is going to be a lot of fun. He's like the professor.
Oh, yeah. Larkin's going to be fun to mess with.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And we'll also be bringing in this guy, Matt Hurley. So we're going to have a lot of people. It won't be video. There's going to be way too many people. And depending if we could all work a certain time, I'm going to try to get this girl, the Demoness from the UK, because, they got a big hour time difference.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say you're missing one of these important people we're talking about. I was about to say you can't forget about this person.
There's so many names, and if we could pull this off, this is like the super shows of super shows. We have one person from Rochester, New York. The other one's from Virginia. We're out here in Florida. She's the UK. Hers is in Milwaukee. So we got a lot of time zone differences, but it could be a lot of fun if we could pull this off.
If we could pull it off, it's definitely, like you said, it's going to be a super show. And if you ain't got time on your hands, you probably don't want to. I advise you to listen to it because you're going to have a lot of heads that know a lot of stuff about wrestling. So this one's definitely going to be filled full of information on wrestling and everything. So if you don't like watching our whole shows and you want to hear more about our wrestling stuff, hey, that's going to be the show to listen to, because I know Demoness, she knows her wrestling. She knows her trust. Larkin, love the dude. He knows his stuff. Bodega, he knows his stuff. He knows to hate Moose. That tells you he's a genius, all right? All of these men and women that are going to be on this podcast, I would advise you, do not miss this show, honestly. Yeah. And, you got yours truly, Crooked Smile, so why would you want to miss that?
And I'll probably have to host it with all these personalities here. I will listen. I'm enjoying the fact I can sit back and be the other guy. You know what I mean? Like, I like just being the guy who don't have to host. But listen, it's
Hey,
a
like
lot of
we did
fun.
reach out to the fans, and some of the fans did say they wanted to hear me be the host. So
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's pretty cool. A few fans have. Yeah. He's trying to show me some, but fans were like, they at first they were like, what the hell's the deal with this guy? Then we've had recent people, this, that, and they're like, why don't you give people a chance to actually host? And I was like, I don't want to host all the time. Like, I want to take a back seat. And the first one you did, I didn't throw you to the wolves. Something had came up and you had to do the interview. You know what I mean? Like
Bella Inc.
Yeah. And
I had my first ever podcast, and I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous as hell.
You know what the crazy part is, and we'll get off of this. I didn't do you as bad as I did my son. A few years ago, we had reached out to Louis Gerber from ICW, and he was like, I'll do an interview with you guys. That's what's up. My guy Kyle, he had like work. He's like, I'll set it up, I'll hit record and drive, and I'll just edit it. I'm like, bet. I lose my voice and I sound like shit 3 minutes before the show, before the interview.
Yeah.
I go in my son's room. I'm like, yo, you know a lot about Louis Gervin, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, great, come here. He's like, what? I was like, you're going to interview Louis Gervin. He was like, wow, right now? And I'm like,
he fanboyed. I can guarantee he fanboyed when he heard that.
Great. He did great. He sounded mad professional.
Okay.
Like,
we might have to throw him in.
Bro, like, he killed it. And just shut it off. He killed it. And I was like, I'm listening, and I'm like, oh man, he sounds better than me and the homie. Like, and it was kind of annoying because it sounded so professional, and it's not like me where this is what you get. You know, he came off very clean and classy, and I was like, what the hell? Like, the only problem is Kyle's a wild one, I'm a wild one, and we have an interview that sounds proper on what we were trying to build. And I was like, this don't even sound like us, bro. I'm gonna send it. I might even send it to us, and then you could like edit it and put like our logo, and we'll just throw it out there anyway.
Why not?
But,
content.
Dope interview, and if you want, plug yourself, my brother, so we get up out of here.
All right, you can catch me on Instagram at crookedsmileht6. I'll start posting there a lot more. Obviously, during this whole thing right now, I'm staying low. I'm letting everyone speak their words, in this time of matter. But, I ride with you guys. I'm 100% on board with everybody. Just be safe out there and, just don't be crazy. I got your back 100% for everybody. And peace be with you guys.
So the only thing I'm going to plug is at Joker's Club Pod on Instagram and Twitter. So it's a Z, not an S. No way I'm plugging you. He's like, plug my Instagram. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
Hey,
you know what?
If he coffin drops on the floor right now, I'll plug him.
No. You know why? Even if he did that, I wouldn't. Because when we gave him the opportunity during the show, he didn't say nothing. So the next time we give you an opportunity, you better come correct. If not, you get stuck over there. But
yeah. He was supposed to come on our podcast before and pull up a chair, and then he never pulled up the chair. He walked away. I remember that. Yeah. So now next time he gets on a podcast, he has to coffin drop before he gets on the podcast.
But yeah, man, it's Joker's Club Pod on Instagram and Twitter. We got some really cool stuff. Obviously, make sure you follow, subscribe, like, and everything else. And the key thing we're gonna keep telling you guys is be safe. It's a fucking crazy time out there. It's insane right now. So I'm not gonna tell you not to be outside, but I would ask you to not be outside, because even if you're doing the right thing, the person across the way is not. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not. I was told this years ago. You live every day. You only die once. Exactly. I want to enjoy my every day. I don't want to do the one thing once. You know what I mean? So